All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our very special webinar Zoom today. We are going to help you plan your best year ever in 2024. And if you heard Arash talking last week on social media or on our podcast, you know that he starts planning his year December 1st. And it's so important to make a really smooth transition into the new year so that you go in to the new year with momentum and can really create your best year. You're off on the right foot, that you follow the right processes and the right mindset. So without further ado, I'm going to hand this right over to the man of the hour, Mr. Arash Vossoughi, who's going to walk us through an incredible plan for your best year ever in 2024. All right, Arash, it's all yours.
All right, thanks, Mike. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good, very good. Let me get this started because I know what everyone's here for. So let's make 2024 the best year. I want you to think about it. How many times have you said, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done this in 2021. I wish I would have done this in 2022. I wish I would have done this in 2023. I know I used to have a lot of the I wishes when I was really struggling. And everything changed for me when I made a commitment to excellence. And that's what I want you to do for 2024. And what I'm going to give you today is exactly how I plan every year. And I always add to it. So this year, I believe the plan is better than I've ever had. But when I committed to excellence, I want you to think about what that means. That meant that I had to show up and do the work. The work always works when we do the work and doing what it takes to become great. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to look at it and give yourself a blank slate. Let's say 2023 to date has been your best year ever. I want you to give 2024 a blank slate. I don't want you to rest on your laurels because nothing makes you more vulnerable than when you think, oh, I've got there. I always say the universe always finds a way to humble us when we think we already know it. I always come from the attitude that I know nothing because I want to be a beginner all the time in my mind because I think about it and it makes me more hungry. So let's get going with this. I believe this is my philosophy. The point of our life is to live the way you really want to live. So ask yourself, in 2024, how do I really want to live? And I want you to ask yourself bigger and better questions than you've ever asked yourself before. I want you to come in with a blank slate and say, I have this pen right now and I'm writing my script. I'm writing how 2024 is going. And I want you to define it the way you really want to live, not based on what you did in 2023 and past years, but I want you to adopt this as your philosophy that the point of our life is to live the way we really want to live. Now, success always comes down to three simple choices. We have to decide exactly what you want, and I want you to be so clear about what it is you want. Without clarity, your mind is a mess. It's in all these different areas. It's in all these different directions. But when we get so crystal clear, this is what I want more than anything else, we're setting ourselves up for so many wins going forward. Number two, determine the price you have to pay. What is that price I have to pay? Do I have to find mentors? Do I have to get in mastermind groups? Do I have to build discipline? Do I have to commit to my craft? Do I have to spend 10,000 hours in repetition? What is that price you have to pay? And number three, choose if you're willing to pay it. If you're not willing to pay it, you're not going to get what you want. It's as simple as that. So you have to understand these three and brain tattoo it. What do I want? What is the price I have to pay? And am I willing to pay the price? Now, in order for us to create a greater 2024, for all of us, and I could say this for myself, I have to have the courage to bet on myself greater. I have to really build bigger ideas. And that starts with betting on myself. And there's no better person to bet on than you. You have greatness inside of you and it's dying to come out. Now let's look at greatness. What is greatness? Greatness is when you attract what you expect. because we don't get what we want, we get what we expect, because our expectations controls our behaviors. What are you expecting in 2024? I want you to really put in big letters, expectation, in your notes, and reflect on, what do I really desire? What do I want more than anything else? How do I really want to live in 2024? And then you have to behave like that person. You have to become what you respect. And then you're going to mirror what you admire. As you focus on it, you're going to become it. Now, this next slide, I think you're going to love. I love this. And greatness, the best definition I was ever taught about greatness is selfless exceptionalism. I love that, because the more we focus on giving, the more we're going to gain. And exceptionalism is that commitment to excellence. Now, you mix the two, there's so much power. But it starts with number one. If you want to pursue greatness, you have to know, what do I want to achieve? Number one. Number two, how bad do I want to reach my goal? How bad? Is it a big why behind it? Do I want it more than anything else? Number three, do I have the mental toughness to handle the adversity along the way? Number three, I'm going to tell you right now, for you to create a massive quantum leap in 2024, we have to build your foundation. We have to build that toughness. We have to create an ironclad self-image, an ironclad attitude. And you've got to understand there's going to be adversity along the way. And number four, do your words and actions reflect the heart that is going to be necessary, that inspires peak performance in others and make those around you better? Because winning is about helping other people win. And your goal is going to demand you to help others and be great and have a great servant's heart. Now, when you give, you live. When you take, you're in pain and fear. Understand this. Am I conditionally giving, or am I unconditionally giving? When I'm taking, I'm in pain. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're in pain and fear. You're holding on to an attachment. We want to let go of any fear and any attachment that you may have right now when you're planning out 2024. Now, greatness is not measured by what a person accomplishes, but by the opposition they overcome to reach their goals. That is what is going to get you to reach your goals: overcoming adversity, overcoming that old, outdated self-image, overcoming your past. That's how you're going to achieve your goals in 2024. Now, I want you to burn this in your mind. Any picture firmly held in the mind in any form is bound to come forth. Any picture. This is why we have to have a clear vision. We have to have a clear direction of what that picture is. And we have to deliberately practice picturing that picture over and over and over again every single day from a very neutral state. It's already here, from a detached state. Burn this in your mind, because that's how the law works. The great universal law tells us, when we intelligently cooperate with it, it will make us absolute makers of the conditions and situations in our lives. Always have the law as your accountability partner. When you're struggling, you're working against the law. I'm telling you this right now. When you're struggling, you're forcing. When you're struggling, you're coming from lack and limitation. And if you've ever been around me, I always talk about there's always two states we come from. We either come from want or we come from need. Want creates our standards. Want creates abundance. Needs creates scarcity. Now, make a decision that it is done before you start. This is what I always do. It's done. Always pivot forward. No matter what is happening, what is going to happen is going to be so much greater if in your mind you accept the idea that it is done before you start. Brain tattoo this. Make a decision. It's done before I start. Now, expectation is absolutely huge. Expectation is the greatest and biggest contributor to success. I told you earlier, what we expect, we get. What are you expecting? Most people are setting their goals for the new year, if they set their goals, and they're setting them on January 1st, January 2nd, which is a big mistake. That's why I always set it on December 1st. And you want to start expecting exactly how you want to live. How do I want to live? Start building that expectation today. Now, this is always a game between you versus you. I love this quote by Simon Sinek. He says, the only true competitor in the infinite game is yourself. It's you versus you. I always say we're either playing an infinite game or a finite game. An infinite game, we make the rules. A finite game is we're coming from that old image, that old story, that what we already know. There's no inspiration in it. So when you're setting your goals this year, when you're planning 2024, why I'm telling you this before we get into it is because we got to build a foundation. We've got to build the core principles to get you from where you are to where you want to go. Now, there's 4 things you have to ask yourself. Number 1, do I have a sincere, authentic desire for interchange and quantum leaps? Ask yourself that question. Number 2, do I have workable principles? See, anybody who works with us at Voss, I give them exact processes and principles of what to do and how to do it. A lot of people are out there throwing darts at the dartboards and working on 1,000 different principles instead of the important few. And we want to have workable principles for 2024. Write this question down. What are my workable principles that I am going to implement in 2024 in the greatest way that I've ever done before? Number 3, you have to have honesty. You've got to be the most explicitly honest person to yourself. You've got to know, listen, I tapped out. It's Wednesday, I tapped out because I got, my week started out slow. Well, that's how you can course correct. And one of the key attributes of greatness is self-honesty. And number 4, you have to develop persistence. You're going to see all this adversity. You keep going, boom, big jump. Develop persistence as a part of your attitude. Now, I want you to write down this. What is my main goal for the year? My biggest goal, my number 1 goal. What is that number 1 goal? And we want to write it out in the present tense. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am living a life of freedom and I am earning 100,000 or more every month. Whatever that is, we want to build that picture in your mind. We've got to get that picture firmly held into that subconscious part of you, so your subconscious doesn't have all these different messages and all these double binding messages going on. Remember, if we have a mess in our mind, we have a mess in our life. And I want you to understand this. I will tell you this. I was studying this book. It's a great book. It's called Message of the Master. It's a real easy read. And I'll read you something in here if I can find it. But I think he had the best definition for me. He said, your mind can be likened to a house that has been cluttered over the years with thousands of unnecessary pieces of furniture, pictures, ornaments, and other things, all around and piled everywhere. The result is that although the outside of the house may present a good appearance, the inside is a mess of confusion and disorder. It is impossible to accomplish anything under such conditions, for you cannot go after one thing without stumbling over another. There's no order, no purpose, no progress. The first necessary thing to do then is to rid that house of all but the furnishings that are essential to your success. Ask yourself, am I focusing on a lot of things or am I focusing on a few? Is my mind clear? I want your mind to be so damn clear this year. I want it to be on what you want, not what's missing, not what your present results are telling you, but what you want more than anything in the world. It is yours before you start. Own that. Remember, we've got to have our number 1 main goal for the year. Now, you can have a lot of different goals in your vision. Make that part of your vision, but not your goal. Your goal is one main goal. That's what I want you to focus on. And when we're talking about goals, when you make the goal impossible, you stop coming from your present knowledge and assumptions. It's going to demand you to come from asking yourself things that you've never done before. Like I always talk about quantum leaps. Like that's how I measure myself. I expect a quantum leap all the time. Like all the time I'm expecting a quantum leap. But quantum leaping our life is about setting goals that will lead you to a world-class life, to an extraordinary life, to a life of freedom. I'll tell you guys a story. I was talking to Mikey a couple weeks ago. And I was telling her, I said, so I told you, we've been thinking about our goals really since end of September, but I really start diligently planning it December 1st. But I was telling her, I said, I was on a walk with my dogs and we were talking and I said, here's what I'd like you to do. And I was just it just came out of the ethers, those out of the blue, you just know that this is valuable. And I said, when you're planning, I want you to think of yourself as the 2029 version of yourself. Ask the 2029 version, what was it that I needed, that I really had to apply to create a massive quantum leap in 2024? And she got really quiet. She goes, oh my God, this is so good. And I said, think about, I could tell you, I could think about where I was in 2018. In 2018 to 2023 version of me, completely different. And I could tell you what I did to get to this point by looking backwards. But we can start asking that 2029 version and say, you really went all in. You developed a commitment to excellence. You started investing in really your processes and routines. You worked on big ideas. You did not care if you failed or not. Like all these things, you did the things that you were afraid to do before, whatever it was. But I want you to start coming from that assumption, those questions, and watch the ideas you're going to start getting. Now, you will be open to new ideas and pass things along your mind and go to get to your bigger goal. Like things are going to pass you and be like, no, that's the old version of me. And you're going to start wiring paths of how to get to your bigger goal. See, the how will always show itself. The great part is you don't need to know the how, your spirit does. And it will let you know when you commit to doing the work, when you commit to getting the mentors, when you commit to working the ideas, when you commit to building the standards, when you commit to building the disciplines. That's how you're going to get to your big goal. Now, when we're talking about goals, we've got to be all in with our goals. All in. And I'm going to tell you this, all in is what it takes. What did I say earlier? A commitment to excellence means showing up, doing the work, and doing what it takes to achieve that goal. I want you, and here's the thing, all in is an emotional connection. It's not an intellectual one. It's that this is what I'm doing no matter what. And I'm going to tell you how you're going to achieve that big goal. It's about building quick wins, little wins, compounded over time. Winning encourages more winning. The more you stack your small wins, that builds confidence. Confidence is going to build bigger ideas in yourself, and it's going to get you quicker out of your comfort zone. Go all in with your goals. Now, I want you to set a goal that is worthy of you, that is so big that you can't achieve it until you grow into that person who can. One of the most important questions we can ask while we're designing our new year is, who do I need to become? Where is my gap from where I am to where I want to be? How does that person behave? Because I'm going to have to behave differently. And you want to ask yourself these questions. Remember this, ask yourself bigger questions this year. Watch what is going to transpire. Now, your goal, we said, what is the price we have to pay? The price is setting a goal that inspires you, but the goal has to dominate all your waking hours. It has to be a goal that inspires you. When you don't want to do it, you do it. See, we want to pick a goal that's worthy of you. And that's why I said you're writing your story. You're the designer of your life. And if you're setting small goals, you're cheating on yourself. Set big goals. Set goals that I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I am sick and tired of saying, I wish I would have done it. I'm going to commit every cell of my being, and this is what I'm going to become. Now, when we're setting our goals, always set quarterly goals. What is my first quarter goal? What is my second quarter goal? What is my third quarter goal? And what is my fourth quarter goal? And when you start, all I put my attention on is the first quarter. I know if I take care of the first quarter, I have so much momentum going into the second quarter. And then once the second quarter starts, my goal is already there. I can alter it. Let's say I made a massive jump in my first quarter, And I said, okay, my second quarter, I got to elevate that. That's too small now. Well, I can change it. But I want you to put all your energy on your first quarter goals. Break it down to the ridiculous so the number becomes smaller. You're measuring against something that is short term, so you're not going to get distracted. Anybody can do something for a quarter, but go all in on that first quarter. Set quarterly goals. Now, take full responsibility of how was 2023. So when I'm setting out 2024, I take a good look about what I created in 2023. So I want you to take full responsibility for the good, the bad, the indifferent, and live with no regrets. So I'm going to give you some inventory questions. Number one, what was the biggest quantum leaps I've created in my life this year? Now, the reason I'm asking you this question is because when you're setting out for a new quantum leap goal, it's not going to be very scary for you because you're going to say, hold on a second. These quantum leaps that I wrote down, I didn't know how I was going to do it before, and I did it. So it's going to build more belief once you measure it against something you've already created. We can't grow unless we focus on the good that we've already done. That's number one. Number two, what were the biggest lessons you learned in 2023? What were those lessons are the greatest blessings. What were the biggest lessons you learned in 2023? Number three, what was your standard in 23? Not what you set it to be, but what did you live? That's the most important one because that's us being honest with ourselves. Did I say I was going to do something and not do it? Okay, that's a standard I get to build in 2024. What was the true, authentic standard that you lived in 2023? Number four, what was the biggest adversity you overcame this year? What was the greatest adversity you overcame? Number five, what were your greatest gifts of 2023? A lot of my gifts usually come from overcoming adversity. Not all the time, but look at what were the greatest gifts that I received in 2023. Number six, what was the greatest thing that you did out of your comfort zone in 2023? I want you to think about it. If you say, I really didn't do anything, well, you found your gap. The greatest gap that we all have from going from where we are to where we want to go is getting out of our comfort zone. That paradigm tries to keep you in your comfort zone. Your old programming, your old image is keeping you in that comfort zone. You have to bust through it. It is the deal. That is the price you have to pay. Number seven, what were the most amazing things you accomplished in 2023? Make a list of this. Number eight, what were your excuses? This is a good one. This is going to show you your story. What were the excuses I made for 2023? Number nine, what were you most proud of in 2023? Where can you look in the mirror and say, I am so proud that I kept on going. I am so proud this is what I created. I am so proud that I help my clients with my idea, product, or service. Whatever it is, write it out. And number 10, what was your greatest accomplishment of 2023? Your true power lies in reviewing these questions from a neutral perspective and only focus on the truth. Only focus on you. What is the real? This is how you start planning your new year. You do a reflection of all these questions in 2023. So now you can design 2024 the way you want it to be. Now, we have to build a significant vision. Your vision, if the vision isn't clear, the dream is dead before it started. You've got to write out a clear vision of how you want to live. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But before you write out your vision, come in with this premise. Nothing is small about me. I am not thinking small. 2024 is going to be my catapult for the rest of my life. And it's because I decided this moment, this very moment, to think big. Think bigger than I even thought it was possible. I want you to build this idea and make your vision so big. Now, do you know how to build a picture of what you want? I'm going to show you it right now. I'm going to give you areas. Write out on a Post-it note before you write out your vision, all areas of your life, your physical health. Do you want to get in the best shape of your life? Your spirituality. How connected are you to your spirit? How connected are you to your higher self? How would you like to be? Your vacations, what type of trips would you like to take in 2024? What do you want your career to look like? Do you want to be in a new career? Do you want to build your business that you've been afraid of? But 2024 is where you said, I am betting on myself. I'm going out and doing it. Or do you want to get a significant raise in your current position? Your personal relationships. Do you have great relationships? Do you want to create a partner? Do you want to build a great relationship with yourself? Write it out. Your finances. What do you want your finances to look like? Remember, we accept this. It is done before we start. And then your personal growth. Where do you want to go? Because your life in 2024 is going to be a measure of how you grow personally. How much are you investing in your personal growth? Constantly invest in self-mastery. But when you're building the image of what you want to have these areas in your life and have them on a note and write it out into a story. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm in the best shape of my life. I have more energy than I've ever had. Because listen, you can create all the financial growth, but if you're not healthy to enjoy it, what's the purpose? And go through every area, your spirituality, the type of trips you want to take. Trips are so great because you get a break and you get to live the way you want to live. You get to experience different cultures. What type of career? Like for me, personal relationships are so important. They're so important because we become who we surround ourselves with. What type of mastermind groups are you in? Who is in your environment giving you direction? Really write this when you're writing your vision. And when you're writing a vision, I have taught my elite clients to do this, and I'm going to teach it to you right now. Put your phone off, put on some classical music because it neutralizes your mind, some Beethoven, some Mozart. It will neutralize your mind. And when your mind is neutral, now you're bringing out your higher self. And then you have these areas of your life and you write it out as a story in the present tense. And then once you write it and it is done, you can always change it later on. But I want you to record it and listen to it 10 minutes a day. The rest of the year, just put it on repeat. I listen to it 10 minutes a day. You're building that image deeper and deeper into your subconscious mind. Now, when you do this, you're going to see it. And obviously, we've got to add hobbies. What new hobbies? Do you want to learn karate? You see, hobbies are so great, and do something out of your comfort zone because that's how you grow. Whatever it is that you want to add, and make sure you have fun in your life. To me, life is about experiences and the frequency of those experiences. Have a lot of fun. Don't play your life so rigid. Don't be so serious. Go have fun and go create your dream life. It is waiting for you. Now, remember, goals are your vision of the future. And fall in love with the future. So many people I watch go trepidly into their future. They're so afraid of it. Design your masterpiece. Like today is our masterpiece. Today is what we do today is going to create our new image. Design your masterpiece the way you really want it to be. And don't have fears of the future. How you create an amazing future is creating an amazing present time. There's so much noise in all of our lives with social media being marketed here, being marketed there. You've got to quiet it. When you're designing your vision, make sure you have no distractions. This is going to be a sign to you that I value myself. And don't have fears of the future. The people have fears of the future because they're projecting something in the future that doesn't exist. They're making up stories. Let go of that. Define it by how you really want to design your future. But remember this, if you're fearful of the future, you'll be freezing all the time. You'll be losing out on one opportunity after another. And the price is easy. I told you you're going to have to pay the price. It is easy if you made an irrevocable, committed decision. Count on your ability to design your future. We talked about greatness. I can't give you greatness. I can bring it out of you. Greatness is already inside of you. We've got to let it out of you. And you can't do that without making a decision. Now, when you're planning it, I told you, we have to ask ourselves, who do I need to become? I have to build a new model. I have to think differently. Define what your new model is going to be. I have to get you to understand the importance. This is same with me. It's no different than me. I have to think differently every year to get to where I am. This year, in my opinion, I had the greatest quantum leaps in my life. I was out of my comfort zone more often than I've ever been in my life. But I knew that's what the price was. And within a millisecond, I said, I'm doing it now. Burn that in your mind. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Think differently. Now, going for quantum leaps in 2024 means you must eliminate roles. Am I playing the victim role? Got to eliminate it. Am I playing the martyr? Got to eliminate it. Am I playing the role of playing it small? Got to eliminate it. What behaviors do you need to eliminate? Do I procrastinate? Eliminate it. Do I think I'm not worthy enough? Eliminate it. You have to build these new models in your mind before you're going to see it in your result. And look at what parts of my mindset do I need to release? What parts? Playing it safe is a dumb idea. You know, a lot of clients will say, do you think this is a realistic? I said, realistic? I don't believe in that. I want you to be unrealistic. That's your old mindset. Let go of those attachments. Ask yourself, what roles, behaviors, and outdated mindsets that I have to release? This is all on, I'm showing you on how to define your new paradigm, how to define how you're going to achieve that vision that you wrote out, that number one goal for 2024. But I will promise you this, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And even if you have the most amazing year of your life, it's going to demand you to quantum leap it. It's going to demand you to grow. It's going to demand you to be much, much better than you've ever been. Now, when we're defining it, we have to build a new image of ourselves. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continually edit your belief and upgrade your image. So look at your goal. Let's say the goal is somebody earning $10,000 a month and wants to go to $100,000 a month. They want to really 10x it. Well, that person, if I was coaching them, I'd say, okay, let's look at your belief. What would the belief have to be for you to have the image of the person earning $100,000 a month? And that's how you want to start thinking. Ask yourself this question. What kind of actions does a person who earns $100,000 a month take? And I have to take those actions. What type of coaching does a person who earns $100,000 a month have that I have to invest in? See, you've got to start asking yourself, who do I have to become? And we have to constantly work on upgrading our image. Build a bigger idea of yourself in 2024. I want you to 10x the idea of yourself that you have right now. I want you to see yourself much bigger. I want you to see yourself so much bigger than how you're seeing yourself right now. Build that bigger idea. When you're writing your vision, make sure you're writing, when I said personal relationships, write down how you see yourself in 2024. Write down, I'm so happy and grateful now. 2024 was the best year of my life. I took bigger actions than I've ever taken. I invested in my personal mastery. I invested in investigating why I procrastinate. And now I've created a massive quantum leap. Write out your ideal version of yourself, but please, whatever you do, work with the idea of a big idea of yourself. Now, define your new paradigm is going to be a game changer. Not just saying, okay, I have a paradigm, because you have good paradigms too. But I never have it happens very few times where a client will tell me, oh, this is my good paradigm. They always tell me what their bad paradigms are. Define your new paradigm. That's what I want you to do. Focus on stepping in to that new version of yourself, that bigger image of yourself. Now, if we're going to change your results, we have to understand this slide. And I want you to burn it in your mind, because we said, if we're working for ourselves, we're working in harmony with the law. If we're working against, we're working against the law. Well, we have to understand the law of the mind. You have a conscious mind. You have an analytical part of your mind. That's where your paradigm is. That's where the gatekeeper is. And you have a subconscious mind. And you have a body. Now, you have your senses that are connected to your conscious mind. And you've got to make a rule for yourself. This is part of my new standard, that I am not making decisions from my senses. I'm making it from my higher self. I'm making it from my faculties. You have an intellectual mind. You have an emotional mind. Your emotional mind creates 96 to 98% of all your results. If you have a mess inside this emotional mind, you're going to have double binding message after double binding message. You're just letting your senses go. Your senses are the one dictating because your programming is connecting to your senses, and your senses are so sensitive. And remind yourself this. When you're aspiring for something far greater than you've ever done, your paradigm is going to try to bring you back at every second. Oh, let's just create incremental results. That's safer. That's safer. No, we don't play it safe. We go all in. I want you to create the best version of yourself. That demands you to understand your mind. Now, you have these faculties. You have your memory, your perception, your will, your imagination, your intuition, and your reasoning. These are all in your intellectual mind, yet 95% of the people, the 98% of the people have no idea what they are. And even if they know what they are, you may have heard this. Ask yourself, am I practicing it? Am I deliberately practicing it? Make it one of your non-negotiables for 2024, that I'm going to practice building my will. I'm going to practice holding the idea of what I want with my will. For the first quarter, pick one each quarter that you're going to work on, because your faculties is the only thing that allows you to alter your program. When you're not using your faculties, your program does not change. Year after the year, you can look at somebody 5 years from now, they have the same life. Why? Because they never changed the program. You have to build this image, and you have to understand your higher faculties are your superpowers. Start putting attention on it. You don't know how many clients that have been working with me, they go, oh, I forgot about it. We cannot forget about this. Pick one each quarter that you're going to work on, and say for the first quarter, I'm going to work on my will. For the second quarter, I'm going to work on my imagination. And you work on it every day, literally every day. If you're working on the will, you're holding one idea. You say, nope, that's not the idea that I'm holding. I'm not going to work on that. I am not working on that. That's just there to distract me. That's just noise. If you're working on your imagination, practice mental rehearsal. See every day, spend 10 minutes by yourself, seeing what you would experience had you achieved what you want. That's mental rehearsal. Whatever it is you're working on, that is what's going to create the new program. Now, every week, I want you to commit to this. Sunday morning, I don't care what time you commit to, you put your phone away and you plan your week of what you'd already achieved on Friday. So what do you want to achieve on Friday? You write it out in the present tense, and you work all week with excellence, with focus, with expectation, and with swagger. You know, I will tell you this, look at your work habits. I watch people's work habits and they're terrible. When we have great work habits, it's because we're doing real work and we're very intentional with what we're doing. We're working with an expectation. And I want you to spend that time. Right now, what do you want to achieve by this Friday? Write it out. But every Sunday morning, you plan your week on what you would achieve in the present tense by Friday. Now, set your phone on Do Not Disturb when planning out your week. Make sure you're going to get ideas when you're planning out your week on Sundays. Do this every Sunday morning. Now, what is the daily design to set your 2024? I'm going to show you this. Number one, have a great morning routine. And if you don't have one, we have a free download, Millionaire Mornings. Take my morning routine. I've gotten so many messages, literally now thousands and thousands of messages of people who've duplicated it and said how much it's changed their life. Your morning routine, what I discovered about morning routine, how you start your morning is how you end your day. I'm going to tell you this, how you own your day and end your day. But the morning routine is working on your self-esteem more than anything else. It's being intentional. Daily design is you commit, never miss your morning routine. Number two, the night before, you write out your 3 to 6 goal achieving activities in the present tense. Why you do this is because it is going to give your subconscious 10 hours to work on it when you're asleep. And you commit, you do number 1 before you go to number 2. And sometimes you'll get to 4, sometimes you'll get to 6. Don't worry about that. But make sure you make number 1 the hardest. the hardest part of your day, because guess what? Once you do the hardest thing first, you have momentum working for you. You build empowering beliefs for yourself. Make it non-negotiable. You're doing your 3 to 6 goal achieving activities. What are the non-negotiables is the power of 5. The power of 5 is going to change your life right here. What is the power of 5? Every decision is intentional. Every decision comes from my goal. Your disciplines, define what are the few disciplines that you're going to implement. This first quarter, what are these non-negotiable disciplines? I'm telling you, discipline is what's going to create your freedom. Discipline is what's going to create your quantum leap. You have to know the disciplines. Number 3, build your standard. Your standard is going to make your life so easy. So easy. I had a client I was working with a few weeks ago, and he said to me, he said, Arash, I've never heard of anybody teach standard like you. It changed my life. He said, my income dramatically jumped, and I couldn't believe what I created this year. He said, standard will change anyone's life. I said, I know, it changed my life. Build your standard. Make it match your goal. Make it greater than your goal. And then image. Your image, I want you to improve it 1% every day by what you're doing, by how you're thinking, by who you're surrounding yourself with, by the investment in yourself. You're investing all the time. We're either investing up or investing down. Invest up all the time. How can I grow? I'm telling you, you can always measure what something costs in time or money, but you can never measure where it'll take you. Every thought we have is an investment. It's a deposit in ourselves. When we surround ourselves with great mentors, it's an investment in ourselves. Build the image of the person you want to become. Every day, an attitude. Attitude is the most important thing that you have control over. And once you have a positive mental attitude, you control every situation. You control how every situation appears in your mind. It will control your expectation. What do you think expectation is? It's an attitude. What do you think faith is? It's an attitude. Build the attitude, non-negotiable every day. Your daily design is look at your goal, see it in your mind through mental rehearsal, and then every day when you're in action, every decision, every discipline, every standard, every image, and every attitude matches that goal. This will create massive success in 2024. Massive success. I want you to commit to the power of 5, non-negotiable. Now, mental rehearsal is another non-negotiable. You have to see yourself every day, all day long, like the person you want to become. You see it in your mind in the morning. You see it in your mind in the evening, the last 5 minutes before you go to sleep. What would I be experiencing had I experienced my goal already achieved? What are the trips that I would take? What would that handshake deal be that's in your mind is a done deal with a big sale you made? Mentally rehearse exactly how you want to be. Now, this is the one that I want to really get into. Are you busy being busy? That's fake work. Real work is a few strategies done with a great attitude, a great swagger, a great confidence, a great expectation, and it's very intentional. Real work is what I want you to focus on, and you cannot focus on real work if you do not commit to the daily design, the 3 to 6 goal achieving activities, the belief installation process where you have your one goal and you put an alarm on your phone every 3 hours. When that alarm goes off, you auto-suggest that goal for 2 minutes. And if you've never heard what auto-suggestion is, it's a suggestion from yourself to yourself. It's literally with emotion, saying your goal out loud and internalizing it with emotion. And then you mentally rehearse for 1 minute. Make this part of your daily design, but make sure you're doing the 3 to 6 goal achieving activities, because without action, it's delusion. Now, repetition is your best friend. Think about anything you've become great at, repetition. Think about anything you've become terrible at, repetition. You're just repeating the wrong ideas. We become what we repeatedly do. Fall in love with repetition. This is going to be a game changer. Repetition. Do it over and over and over and over again, and that's going to create your results. Now, remember, any idea that's held in the mind that is emphasized that is either feared or revered will begin to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical form available. Look at this. You give yourself a suggestion. It's, what do I want? I am so happy and grateful now that I'm earning 100,000 or more every month. And if that's your goal, you repeat it over and over again. We just talked about repetition. We have, on average, every human being has 80,000 thoughts a day. If we're going to create a quantum leap, we can't have 40,000 positive, 40,000 negative. We can't have 40,000 coming from lack. We have to control the flow of thought energy. We have to only accept what we want. And this is where we've got to get so good at understanding our conscious and subconscious mind. Any idea that I accept, that I emphasize, that I keep repeating over and over again is going to show up in my life. And that suggestion is going to go to your subconscious mind, that's going to alter your vibration, that's going to create your results. And that's where it happens. Now, look at this. This is your mind again. I want you to see it. You have these senses, and the senses are like, I'm earning 10,000 a month. How am I going to get to 100? But an aware person says, no, I've committed. I'm doing my weekly design. I'm doing my daily design. I'm building my image. I'm working on the power of 5. I don't have to worry about the results. That was the old me. I'm building the new me. I have this higher faculty, these higher faculties that are my superpower, that when I deliberately practice them, they will take me to anywhere I want to go. My goal right now is a place, and my job is to operate on that frequency. Remember, intention is frequency of thought. Your number one goal, I want you thinking about all the time. And when you do, you build it in your imagination. And through repetition, again, there's that word, the repetition of using that thought energy of what I want over time, over and over and over and over again, is going to bring it. I don't care what the outside appearances are. The outside appearances will change. The problem is people do not do this long enough. And they say, oh, it doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work. You have to have a commitment to excellence and show up every day. Every day, it demands you to be 1% better and do what it takes to become great. When you're going to have right now, if you have a quality goal, and I mean a real goal that's worthy of you, you're not going to know how to do it. If you know how to do it, it's a bad goal. I want you to think of that 2029 version of you. What advice would they be giving you? Say, man, you stuck to it for a whole year. It changed our life now. How we're living is because you were persistent, because you desired inner change. And the repetition of doing this will plant this new program in your subconscious mind and turn it into a desire. Once it's a desire, it's a done deal. Desire is what fuels you. It's what causes you to act, and it changes what you attract in your life. But you have to be really good at your processes. Build the want, do the 3 to 6 goal achieving activities, non-negotiable. Surround yourself in an environment of A+ performers and hold yourself to a standard of excellence. Commit to that. There's nothing somebody has that you don't have inside of you. The only difference is they're more aware. They have better disciplines. They have greater standards. You can too. Build that desire. And once that desire is built, it's not just in your subconscious mind, it's in universal subconscious, and the whole universe conspires on your behalf to make 2024 your best year ever. And it's going to alter your vibration, and anything you need, you're going to attract to yourself. I'm telling you this. Anything you need, you will attract. The image must manifest into results. Remember this. The goal determines the process. What are your processes? I've given you a ton of processes today. If you go watch this, daily design, weekly design, self-image, belief installation process, power of 5. The goal is going to determine the process, but you can't do the processes twice a week. You can't do it 3 times a week. That's not the price. The price is every day. Every day you get to be great. Every day you get to be a bigger version of yourself. The goal will determine the process. The only way to make the present better is by making the future better. You've got to build a big idea about your future, and you bring the future into the present and see it through mental rehearsal. You take different actions than you've ever taken. And that's what's going to create your results. I'm telling you this. Nothing owns you. You are in control of you whether you know it or not. Now, most people are constantly getting disturbed by the outside. Make 2024 non-negotiable that I am the architect of my life. I have a pen, and as soon as I write that vision, it breathes it into life. The act of stepping away from fear and attachment is what is going to take you to where you want to go. And I will tell you this, whatever you do, get a great mentor. I hope it's me because I love mentoring people and I get people results, but get a great mentor. See, I knew when I was losing that I was doing something wrong. I knew that I had to change. And I wrote this quote down that I read over the weekend from Michael Jordan. He said, coaches are there to push you beyond your limits and achieve greatness. Do you have that in your environment? Well, get a great mentor no matter what you do. Whatever you do, a good mentor will save you pain and save you a lot of time. But you can always measure, oh, it's going to cost this. Well, look at your results. Is it worth it? Make sure you surround yourself with the right thinkers. Make sure you're getting the proper direction. Anyway, I hope this helped you. This is how I design every year. And I guarantee you, if you do this, do everything I gave you, and actually value yourself to put the time in, you're going to create a massive quantum leap in 2024. All right, Mon, I'm going to turn it right over to you, my friend.
All right. Thanks so much, Arash. Today, I'm not going to be going through the exercises like I normally do. Mikey will be emailing out the replay of this, so you can go through it again and again and pause and jot down your notes and ideas. But I do want to talk to you about something really important, and Arash used this word so many times today. It's going to help you with the work that you're going to be doing. But before I get into that, doing the work is so important. Like, it's great to listen to this, but doing the work and writing it down, getting out of your head and out onto paper, then out to the world is so important. And what I would recommend you do is grab a journal, and it can be a brand new journal. Actually, I do recommend you getting a brand new journal. It could be the gold journal for 2024. My journal is called a done journal 2024. So it's already done. And start jotting down everything that you want to accomplish, and also the inventory questions that Arash asked. This is a great way to deepen the process, to get clarity on what you want to create. Getting out of your head is so important. And what I find, when it stays in your head, your goals live with this agenda of your to-do list and reasons why you should procrastinate on it because life gets busy. But that's not true. So it's so important. Today, we carved out and we showed you how to get committed, to get clear on what you want, believe in yourself, and most important, get into action to doing the work, get committed to excellence. So here's the thing I want to share with you. And before you begin the exercises, the questions to ask yourself, before you even begin the processes that Arash shared today, there's one step I want everyone to follow, and it is to set an intention. And when you go back and watch a replay, you'll watch and you'll hear how many times Arash used the word intention, intention, intention. So it's so important. And intention is, the other part of the intention, I want you to be be intentional about being honest with your answers. That's an intention. Like, it's so great to get the fun things out, but I want you to have the intention that when you answer these questions, the only right answer is the honest answer. So it's a really great concept, intention, and I love how Arash teaches it. I feel like it's like the rudder that will steer the course of your life and the direction of your days. So you can set an intention with everything you do, how you want to live your life, how you want a meeting to go, how we want our days to be. Before you even pick up the phone, if you have an important phone call, you can set that intention, how you want that call to go. And it changes the way you have the delivery of that. It changes the way of the energy behind it. I think Arash said intention is the frequency of thought. So I encourage everyone to, before they begin, intention on both how you want to be and what outcome you want to achieve. So what Arash shared with you today, I want to express to all you guys, I have faithfully done this every single year since he shared these with me many years ago. And it made such a huge difference how I enter in a brand new year. So I encourage you to get into this right away and enjoy taking a deep dive into understanding what 2024 will be for you guys. I'm so excited for you, and I'm so happy that you guys all joined. I was watching the list of people here, so I am so happy for you guys to see what 2024 will be for you guys. And Mikey, I'm going to hand it back over to you so you can close this up.
Thank you so much, Monica. And I just want to echo everything that Monica just said. We are so happy to have you here. So happy that you decided to invest in yourself this last hour and join us for our Plan Your Best Year Ever in 2024 webinar. I hope you loved it as much as we did. It looked like Monica had a page full of notes in front of her. I do as well. Now, we don't need a new year to create our best life ever, but we're gifted one right now. So let's use it to our advantage. Arash mentioned at the end of the call that it is important for everyone to pick a mentor and get working with a mentor. It's so important to have mentorship in your life because we all have blind spots. I went ahead and put a link to Monica's calendar in the chat, and I want to encourage everybody to take this time to go ahead and book a call with Monica or one of our coaches at Voss Coaching Co. to see how we can help you have your best year ever in 2024. We've got lots of incredible coaching and mentoring programs, and I'm sure one would be a great fit for any of you. So I saw lots of questions asking if there's going to be a replay. We are going to email out a replay, so be on the lookout for that. And again, thank you so much for joining us. It was wonderful spending a little bit of time with you this morning. And now I'm sure you all have plenty of homework to get busy on to plan your best year in 2024. So thanks again, and I'll get the replay out soon.